I have no deep answers.
We've got Reggie Burress and Mike Tuck. They are Missouri USA wrestling legends. But Reggie's national team director, Coach Tuck, is the coaches coordinator, and been getting a lot of questions. Obviously, people kind of are looking for any kind of update about what may or may not happen this summer. So I was just going to throw it to them to see what they know.
I think at this point, we're just kind of in a holding pattern. USA Wrestling has conference calls a couple times a week, and they basically say we're going to let this play out, and we'll make the decision as the time goes. Right now, is it May 10th? They're holding everything till, and I look for that to be extended in the next week or so.
So nothing is canceled as of yet, but we don't know still, pretty much.
Right. There's been a lot postponed. They postponed everything up until now. I mean, I can kind of backdate this a little bit to probably around March 13th. Kid State was coming up. Reggie and I were moving mats up to Hy-Vee Arena on that Wednesday, ready to set up on Friday. And by the time Friday morning rolled around, Youth State had already been canceled due to provisions put out by the city of Kansas City. And that's basically all USA Wrestling's going by right now is they're keeping it pretty much local. So whatever the local and state regulations are right now are what we're going by. They've basically postponed, as Reggie said, everything to May the 10th. And what's that essentially mean? They will not issue any charters for anything through May 10th at this point. So it won't be a USA Wrestling sanctioned event, or your practice. If you have a room that only has, you get your 4 kids in there, you're meeting all your criteria for not having a group of 10 or more. I'm not sure the insurance will cover it at that point. And then, as Reggie said, they meet. They've got a COVID board with doctors. They meet probably every 3 days, and at that point, they decide how much longer we're going to push it off and things like that. As of right now, like Reggie said, we're sitting at May 10th, and the Missouri Executive Board, which Reggie is a part of, they made the decision, even when Youth State got canceled that Friday, they were supposed to start on Saturday, they were already looking for another venue and they were trying to push everything along at that point, and the dates just kept getting extended. With Freestyle State, it's supposed to be the first weekend of May, same scenario, except actually Missouri State Fair pretty much said we're not hosting anything here until like May the 20th, something like that. It was even before the USA Wrestling put out any type of restriction. And so at that point, they found another location, and it's, of course, nobody's going to be able to use any schools at this point. We probably won't be able to use any schools throughout summer. That's what's going to be kind of a kicker as far as having places to train once this stuff is lifted, because I don't think schools want anybody on their grounds right now. I don't think they're going to want to until they can actually open for school. But they've found a convention center in Lebanon, and as of right now, we're looking at the end of May for Freestyle State in Lebanon, Missouri.
What do you think, just hypothetically, what are the odds that that's still going to get to happen? Fairly decent or unlikely, or what do you think?
At this point, it doesn't look great. I'll say that. I think the city of Lebanon will probably shut us down before we even get there at this rate. But, things change every day. So we want to hold that date just in case, something happens and we're able to get in it. We want to give that opportunity and keep the opportunity for the wrestlers. And we'll probably make that decision in the next couple of weeks, what we're going to do there.
Yeah.
So do you feel that, I know that you have a date for the tournament, but, there's other processes that kind of need to take place before that. Like, kids need to be able to work out and train. Like, when would you feel comfortable, having that tournament, as far as like actually knowing that kids had a chance to work out and train a little bit? What does that look like to you guys?
Personally, I think they need, 3 to 4 weeks to get back in the rhythm and training wise. That'd be my own preference. But like I said, it changes every day what we're doing. Right. So we'll just play it day by day and make that decision as soon as we can. And, obviously I assume USA Wrestling will be making decisions on the duels and kids nationals and Fargo and those type of events in the next month.
Yeah. So
I think along the same lines there, kind of like what Reggie said, I think they're trying to they want to give us at least a 3-week to a month notice before they're going to start, before they extend whatever. Right now we're to May 10th. So I'm assuming here in the next few days, they're going to, if they extend it, which I assume they are, because we've still yet to hit the peak. And we're not, just because they are in New York. I mean, the thing about this is it's nationally. So right now, New York is going through their worst part, and they're going to start on the downhill slope. We haven't hit we're still going upward. I can't speak for Arizona, but like I say, I try to look at most of them. And the thing is, the peaks hit in different places at different times. So that's why they want to, I think they're going to wait for each individual state pretty much to come back and say, okay, you guys can now start it's not going to be like a light switch and it's say, okay, it's over. We're back to normal. Everybody go wrestle. It's going to come back out in phases, almost the same way it came in. I think instead of, first there's going to be, maybe we cut down our social distancing a little bit, and then we can meet in groups of 10 or more. And then after that, maybe meet in groups of 25 and work its way back to where it basically started in mid-March.
Yeah.
And part of the big problem for like the Fargo type tournaments is some of these states already would have their tickets bought, their plans made. So it's kind of hard if, they lift it in mid-June and everybody tries to scramble and they're paying twice as much for airplane tickets and it's crazy like that. So I think there's a big thought process that's going to go into this from USA Wrestling itself.
Yeah, there's a lot to work out for sure. Yeah, I mean, people have just been asking questions about it, and I know you guys can't give any definitive answers, so just want people to get the update on that, because everyone's like, when can we go again? And it's like, hey, we're still trying to ride it out. Be smart, right? So this is more personal for you guys. People miss you guys. Your kids that you coach miss you guys. So what have you guys been up to?
Basically just, getting up and doing the online education thing in the morning and playing with the grandkids in the afternoon. That's really what my day has been here in that last month. It's a lot different than the last 23, 24 years. That's for sure.
Yeah.
With the exception of the wrestling part, my day is pretty much the same. My job is considered essential, so I still go to work every day. And it hasn't changed a whole lot for me other than that. And basically dropping texts back and forth between the kids. And, a lot of mine are really college kids now, since I haven't been in the high school arena in about 4 years. So just keep track of those guys, make sure they're all doing well.
Yeah. You guys are very experienced in coaching, obviously. So I want to get your guys' coaching take on this, but I think kind of a common thread I'm getting from a lot of wrestlers and coaches, but people are getting real stir crazy. People are getting real, especially because wrestling people are more hyperactive than most probably. But how do you keep your mind right during this? What should we do to keep our minds right for let's just even say, hey, maybe Fargo, maybe nothing happens this summer. Maybe there's just no wrestling for the next several months. How do you keep your mind right in your coaching point of view?
I think the main thing is to keep them active, exercising, going through some mental training with their technique, watching some videos, just keeping active in the sport, and not just getting up in the morning, doing a little homework and playing Call of Duty all day long. You got to have some balance there. And I think that's what's – a lot of these kids, I think, are staying up all night playing Call of Duty, and they need to get some kind of regular schedule going so they can kind of – if it does break, that they can get back to training and be productive in their training.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Reggie on that. Everybody at the same school of thought. With this whole thing, you can only control what you can control, whether you're an athlete or whether you're a coach. I can't promise you we're going to wrestle in July. But what I will say is I would just soon you prepare and be ready for July. And if it gets canceled, we didn't lose anything, as opposed to linger, fall out of shape. When I say control the things you can control, you probably can't get on a mat right now. And you probably, there are a lot of kids that I know that have home mats. I mean, I watch, we do Zoom stuff through our club, and I can look at all the pictures of all the kids that are there, and we're going through technique, or we're going through whatever we're going through, and you can see all the kids have home. I mean, we have several kids that have home mats, which is pretty convenient. And some of them have siblings that they can fight with, which also helps. But, right, you know, there's so many technique videos out there right now. I mean, you can, you know, kind of like Brand said, you just self-assess. What do I really, you should know what you really need to work on at this point. And if you don't know, I can tell you right now, it's probably going to be gut wrenches and leg laces, because you probably haven't done any since July of last year, would be my guess. But there's so much out there. The Mat TV on USA Wrestling's website. They put up old matches. They put up techniques. They show the clinics from the Silver College. And I mean, you're getting basically Terry Steiner doing leg laces for an hour-and-a-half clinic. I mean, it's almost like a free clinic. You can stop it. You can look at stuff. There's plenty enough to do. I think, you know, Reggie alluded to it when he said they just need to be on a routine. I mean, my wife's a teacher. She's working just as hard now at home than she did when she's at the school, because I think most of her school day was built around socialization and explaining things to kids and discipline, whatnot, things like that. Now it's just, this is what we're going to do. And like I say, she spends more time here working on the computer at home than she probably does at school, actually physically teaching.
Same. Reggie teaches PE though, so that's probably not the case. But all right, this is the last question, just because you guys have seen so much of Missouri wrestling. But what is your favorite match that you've seen at Fargo or one of these summer tournaments? It could be junior duels. What's a favorite match of yours, or a favorite memory from summer wrestling based around Missouri wrestling?
You know what? I'm just going to go with anytime Brian Graham and Shane A wrestled. Any of the matches. It doesn't really matter. There's going to be upward of 30 points scored, and you don't coach. I mean, it's like having the best seat in the whole house. It doesn't – and they've wrestled at so many summer tournaments. You know, back in the day, we all used to practice together, so we'd get a group at Park Hill with just, you know, Graham's Moyer, Shane Nay, Zach Bailey, and that's a four-man group. And you're like, I'm just going to watch today. I don't think I want to wrestle.
Reggie?
Probably one of the craziest matches, kind of going with Coach Tuck there, was Graham down at Junior Duels. We're wrestling in the Greco tournament, and it's against Illinois, when Illinois was starting to get on the run they're on now. And it was in the finals of the Greco duel tournament, and Brian Graham got bit by the kid from Illinois. He is bleeding on the mat, and the refs are acting like it's okay that he's just bleeding on the mat. And they like taped it up, cleaned it up, and he went back to wrestling, and he did win the match. But we're like, what does it take to be disqualified? The guy is bleeding. But they weren't going to do that at that point in time in the national finals there. So, yeah, it was crazy.
We're going to get Graham on, by the way. I was texting with him yesterday. I think Graham would be a great person to talk to for this, so we're going to get him.
If you're going to do it, get both of them. You don't even have to talk. You just throw one question out there, and you can probably walk away your computer and come back in an hour, and they'll still be going at it. I've got a bite story for you that involves one of your guys' mentors there at Mo West. He was happened to be I don't know how many names I want to use here. He's now lead official for NCAA. He was my college coach, Mike Haggerty, of course. And we were wrestling at a tournament. And we had a guy on a team from Oklahoma who was really dirty. I mean, this guy was choking people out before we ever even knew what choking people out were. And we were wrestling at a tournament. This guy's name was John. John was wrestling. It wasn't unlikely when you're a tournament for him to get called for unsportsmanlike conduct. I mean, you kind of accept it. That's going to be part of you're going to see at least one. Hag's at a different match. Ref calls a flagrant misconduct on John. Hag comes running across the gym to the official. What are you doing? Why are you calling that? He goes, Coach, he bit his finger. He goes, what do you mean he bit his finger? He goes, Coach, the kid's got blood coming down his finger. All Hag, I mean, Hag didn't miss a beat. And you guys that know him, see the veins come out side of his head, side of his neck. He goes, what in the hell was he doing with his fingers in his mouth in the first place?
The great communicator.
Yes.
Hag.
Yes. Yep. Didn't miss a beat.